What happens when one of Hollywood's most intense actors comes face to face with a morning show host who thinks he can play hardball? You're about to witness one of the most brutal exchanges ever caught on live television. And trust me, you won't believe how this escalates. Make sure you subscribe and drop a comment telling me what you think about what Tom Hardy does here, because this is absolutely wild. So, there's Tom Hardy sitting across from George Stephanopoulos on Good Morning America, and you can already sense the tension in the air. Hardy's there to promote his latest film, but Stephanopoulos has other plans. The actor's wearing his usual understated style, a simple black jacket, but there's something in his eyes that suggests he's not in the mood for games. Tom, thanks for joining us this morning. Stephanopoulos begins. That practiced television smile plastered across his face. Stephanopoulos starts off polite, complimenting Hardy on the film's strong reviews, but then, out of nowhere, he pivots. But I want to talk about something else first, he says, leaning forward just slightly. Hardy shifts in his chair, his jaw tightening as if he already knows what's coming. Sure, George, he replies evenly. What's on your mind? That's when Stephanopoulos brings up the controversy, Hardy's past comments about method acting and mental health. He says critics claim Hardy has been irresponsible in how he portrays or discusses his approach. Hardy's eyes narrow, his tone calm but sharp. Irresponsible, he repeats. There's a pause before he adds, That's an interesting word choice, George. Care to elaborate? Stephanopoulos, thinking he's got Hardy cornered, leans in again. But Hardy isn't flinching. The air in the studio shifts, and everyone watching can sense this interview is about to go completely off the rails. Stephanopoulos presses on, thinking he's still in control. He cites unnamed mental health advocates who supposedly criticized Hardy for glamorizing dangerous behavior. Hardy doesn't look away. His accent thickens slightly as he asks, You agree with them, George? Stephanopoulos straightens up and says coldly, I'm asking the questions here. Tom. Then, as if trying to corner him further, George asks what Hardy would say to parents who might worry about young actors following his methods. For a long moment, Hardy says nothing. Live silence that feels like thunder. Then he answers. Voice low but clear, parents should be concerned. About morning show hosts who do zero research before ambushing their guests. Stephanopoulos' practiced smile falters for the first time. He insists, I'm just trying to have an honest conversation. Hardy laughs quietly, almost disbelieving. If you wanted honesty, George, he says, you'd have told my publicist beforehand. Hardy leans forward slightly, his voice calm but cutting. You're reading from a teleprompter, aren't you? He says. Stephanopoulos blinks, caught off guard, but tries to recover. Our viewers deserve your response to legitimate concerns, he insists. Hardy fires back immediately. Your viewers deserve better than tabloid garbage masquerading as journalism. The tension is thick enough to slice through. Hardy challenges him directly, asking when was the last time he actually researched method acting or spoke to any mental health professionals. Stephanopoulos frowns. You're being defensive, he says. Hardy doesn't blink. That's called having standards. George's smile tightens, but Hardy isn't done. When Stephanopoulos says, the quotes speak for themselves, Hardy calmly demands, then read them. The host hesitates, unable to produce a single example. Hardy's voice sharpens. So you can't name the publication or the exact words I used? That's not journalism, mate. That's character assassination. Stephanopoulos stammers, flipping through his cue cards. I have the information in my notes, he mutters. Hardy doesn't move. Then read it, he says flatly. George glances down, visibly flustered. The specific quote isn't important, he finally admits. Hardy leans back, a faint smirk forming. You just questioned my integrity, and now the words don't matter? The tension in the studio spikes. Crew members glance nervously at each other. Hardy continues, his tone steady but dangerous. You invited me here under false pretenses, George. You don't care about the work. You care about a headline. Stephanopoulos tries to recover, saying, let's move on and talk about your film. Hardy cuts him off cold. We're not done here. His eyes lock on George. You mentioned mental health advocates? Name one. George hesitates, then mutters something about several articles. Hardy, no names, no quotes. You're proving my point. Hardy's tone grows sharper but never loses control. You're doing exactly what you accuse me of, spreading lazy, irresponsible claims, he says. Stephanopoulos tries to hold ground. I don't appreciate your tone, he replies stiffly. Hardy's eyes narrow. And I don't appreciate being ambushed by someone who didn't fact-check. Tension is electric now. You're twisting this, George says. Hardy leans forward. No, I'm exposing it. You tried to trap me and it backfired. The studio audience is dead silent. Even the crew looks frozen. George's voice rises slightly. You're overreacting. Hardy's response is quiet but devastating. You accused me of harming young actors without a shred of evidence. How should I react? George fumbles, saying, concerns have been raised in various outlets. Hardy shakes his head. Various outlets? Some say, those are weasel words, George. You sound like a politician dodging a scandal. Hardy doesn't back down. Give me one quote, one name, one fact, he demands. Stephanopoulos shifts uncomfortably. My research team compiled the information, he says weakly. Hardy smirks. That's corporate speak, George. Either back it up or admit you can't. George glances off camera for help. Hardy's voice hardens. Your viewers deserve hosts who research instead of ambushing guests. Stephanopoulos accuses him of being aggressive. I'm not aggressive, Hardy replies calmly. I'm being precise. That's called accountability. George sighs. Let's try to have a productive conversation. Hardy nods slightly. You could have had one if you'd asked real questions. Stephanopoulos mentions celebrity responsibility. Hardy throws it right back. Journalists have responsibilities too. You expected professionalism? Hardy finishes, rising from his seat. Then you should have acted professionally. Looks directly into the camera. This is what happens when you ask for accountability. The room falls silent. Fade out. So, what did you think of that? Tom Hardy didn't just survive that ambush. He exposed it. On live television, he flipped the script on a host who thought he could play tough, and instead revealed just how fragile mainstream journalism can be when faced with real accountability. Hardy didn't yell, didn't storm off. He simply held his ground with truth, precision, and calm power. And that's exactly why this moment has the internet talking. If you respect how Tom Hardy handled himself, standing firm, asking for facts, refusing to be manipulated, then you already know what kind of energy this channel represents. We highlight moments when celebrities stop playing the media's game and speak their truth unapologetically. Hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications and drop a comment telling us which part of Hardy's takedown hit you hardest. Was it the moment he demanded evidence? Or when he said, "That's not journalism, mate"? Let's get this conversation going because real honesty deserves to be seen, shared, and heard. Stay tuned. More explosive celebrity moments are coming your way. Only here where we tell the truth they try to bury.